learn from this book.
All right. Thank you very much, Jeff Zeleny. Sure. And I want to go now to the Democratic Congressman John Garamendi, who's attending a meeting next week on President Trump's mental health, and a lot to ask you, Congressman. So let me just start with this. What specifically concerns you on this topic of the president's mental fitness?
Everything. Absolutely everything. Obviously, North Korea. I mean, we got a crazy leading the North Korean, and we got a crazy in the White House. Just a small mistake. A small error somewhere on that peninsula, and we could have a nuclear war. We could have hundreds of thousands of people killed. Maybe not in a nuclear war, but just in an all-out war. It is a very, very serious problem. What if you had an uncle? What if you had an uncle that lied to you and did untruths 1,951 times in the last 11 months, and every morning you wake up wondering, what in the hell is the tweet going to say this morning? Well, that's what America faces. And we got a bully. We saw him bully every one of those candidates in the Republican primary and do the same thing, stalking Hillary Clinton in a debate. And then who knows what he's going to say. It is downright frightening for the entire world. All around this, in my own district, people are asking me, what in the hell is going on in Washington? What is that president going to do? And I know from national leaders and key people in other governments are going, can you explain this? Yeah, I can explain it. We got a guy in the White House that is unstable and not fit for office.
Do you have any proof of that, though? You know, as Jeff Zeleny was saying, yeah, you've got people like Bill Kristol. You do have people. It's being talked about now in a way that it wasn't before. But, you know, the American public on Election Day, 60% of them, 61% in a poll said they didn't think he was qualified to be in office. The same number that didn't think he was 3 months into the election itself, right? They voted for him anyway. Is this just a partisan opportunity for folks like you?
Well, I wish it was only that. If that was all it was about, an opportunity for Democrats to hit at the president, that would be okay. But the reality is there. You wake up in the morning, I wake up in the morning, I'm going, oh my God, he said that in his tweet? What is that going to do? And he's constantly going after a guy that does have the fourth largest military in the world, North Korea, constantly badgering him. Every year, every few months, there's some incident on the Korean Peninsula that has in the past brought us very, very close to a war. We don't need to have the kind of uncertainty that this president is creating. We know we have to go to negotiations. Every time Tillerson begins to talk about negotiations, he's undercut by the president. We have to have China on board. We start working towards that, and suddenly the president comes out with a tweet that undercuts those negotiations. Who knows what's going to happen, because this guy is totally unstable, totally unfit for office, and downright dangerous.
So let me ask you on this issue of partisanship, because obviously if this is really going to proceed further, it has to be bipartisan, right? It definitionally must be. So I know you're going to be attending a meeting next week on the president's mental health. Have you talked to your Republican colleagues? Are any of them in agreement with you, or?
They're certainly not going to say it. The Republicans have a political agenda. They wanted a massive tax cut for corporations and the wealthy. They got that. They got that because they had a Republican president. They want to cut what they call entitlement programs, and they're going to do that in the next months ahead. What are we doing? What are we talking about here? We're talking about Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid.
But you're saying that because of that agenda, which they need him for, they're not saying it. But are they saying it? Have you had one-on-one conversations where they're agreeing with what you're just telling all of our viewers tonight?
Yes.
Yes, you have.
And I'm not going to tell you who they are, but I'm telling you they are key people in the Republican Congress that they're just shaking their heads and they're going, oh my God, look what he did today. They're concerned. They know what's happening. They know the lies. They know the untruths. 1,951 of them, be over 2,000 by the time his first year is over. And you know the bullying. You know that this president has a constant need for praise. He needs somebody sitting around and saying, oh, you're the most wonderful, biggest, most huge thing in the world. Well, he has a huge military, and it has to be used wisely. But we got a man that's in the White House that is neither wise nor stable.
So when you say key Republicans, I know you can't say who they are. That'd be a violation, obviously, of their confidence. Right. But we're talking about leadership here, then, in some of these cases?
I think I've gone far enough. Let's just say these are people that are important in the Republican caucus.
So when you're going to be briefed next week, and I know there's a meeting, the Yale psychiatrist that I understand is involved, Dr. Bandy Lee, she edited a book called The Dangerous Case of Donald Trump, which includes more than 24 psychiatric experts assessing his mental health, right? It's not just Lee, it's these other people as well. But neither Lee or these other experts have actually treated the president. Does that concern you? I mean, that's really unprecedented in a certain sense. I mean, certainly I've talked to doctors who are willing to weigh in on what they think, but to come out and do so publicly, is that an overstep?
It's downright frightening. This man is a very public person. He's on television, he's tweeting, he's talking, he's not writing, but he is constantly out there in the public, and people are capable of assessing who he is and what he is. And based upon that, not necessarily having him on the couch, but in a very public and in a very way that's quite open, they've made an assessment that there is a very serious problem with the president.
All right. Congressman, I appreciate your time. Congressman Garamendi, I thank you for coming on.